Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to build a bridge between traditional information asset protection and the super exciting but admittedly really complex new frontier of AI ethics. Now, if you're navigating the modern corporate landscape, you already know AI is completely transforming everything. But, with that massive transformation comes a pretty massive compliance and security headache. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how you can merge the rock-solid data protection standards of ISO 27001 with the really groundbreaking AI governance guidelines of ISO 42001.
So let's dive right into this huge challenge facing basically every enterprise today. Imagine you've got this incredible AI system, right? And it needs vast amounts of data to learn and operate. But that data is highly sensitive. So the big question is, how do you lock down that information to prevent a data breach while simultaneously ensuring the AI's decision-making is completely transparent, fair, and unbiased? Historically, your security team handled the data, and maybe a totally separate ethics board looked at the AI. But in today's rapid-fire digital world, that siloed approach is just a recipe for disaster. We actually have to do both at the exact same time.
Here's our blueprint for today. We'll start with the AI security challenge, then look at building a unified risk framework, move into cohesive security practices, and wrap up with documenting audit strategies.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the AI Security Challenge.
Think of this as constructing a bridge between two very distinct worlds. Over on the right, we've got ISO 27001, your classic information security management system. Its whole entire world is built on the CIA triad, keeping your data confidential, maintaining its integrity, and ensuring its availability. But take a look at the left side. ISO 42001 is a much newer framework designed specifically for AI. It cares deeply about the ethical considerations, transparency, fairness, and the whole lifecycle of an AI model, literally from the design phase all the way to deployment.
Now, the reason we actually need both is because AI systems are just fundamentally different from traditional software. Traditional frameworks protect data brilliantly, right? A firewall keeps the bad guys out, encryption scrambles the data, but they completely ignore the unique operational and ethical risks that AI brings to the table. An AI system actually learns from the data you feed it. It adapts over time, and it can quietly introduce these hidden algorithmic biases or operate as this completely unexplainable black box. A perfectly encrypted database honestly doesn't help you much if the AI pulling from that database is making, say, racially biased loan decisions.
Moving right along to Section 2, a unified risk framework.
Here is the absolute crucial takeaway. We are not maintaining two separate, clunky checklists here. We are cultivating one unified ecosystem. When you sit down to assess your risks, you can't just ask, hey, can a hacker steal this data? You also have to ask, is the AI actually processing this data fairly? By integrating ISO 42001 and ISO 27001, your organization creates this beautiful, harmonious framework. Ethical concerns and technical security threats are literally evaluated in the same breath by the exact same governance committees.
This quote brilliantly illustrates how this unified ecosystem plays out in the real world. Just imagine an AI system being used in a hospital to analyze medical images and suggest treatments. Under a unified framework, the organization uses ISO 27001 protocols to heavily encrypt those sensitive patient records, ensuring absolute privacy. But at the exact same time, they apply ISO 42001 guidelines to rigorously test the AI model, ensuring its diagnostic suggestions are free from demographic bias and are totally explainable to the human doctors. You're securing the patient's privacy while simultaneously guaranteeing the AI's diagnosis is fair. It's a win-win.
Let's roll into Section 3, Cohesive Security Practices. If you were the one sitting in the auditor's chair, this definition is basically your North Star for assessing an organization's true readiness. Cohesive security practices mean that absolutely no aspect of your security operates in isolation. It's the seamless integration of technical, organizational, and physical controls. They literally all have to talk to each other. Because think about it, an incredible, state-of-the-art firewall is completely useless if an untrained employee just willingly hands over their password, right?
Let's actually map this out, because this is where the rubber really meets the road. Notice how these controls complement each other perfectly. On the technical side, yeah, you're using encryption for the data, but you're also deploying algorithmic bias scanning for the AI itself. Organizationally, you're training your employees on data privacy for sure, but you're also instituting strict AI ethics policies that dictate how they can even use that AI. And physically, you're putting secure access controls on the server rooms that house your AI hardware. A failure in literally any one of these integrated controls completely undermines the whole shebang.
So, how does this look in action?
It builds into this continuous, dynamic loop. Step 1. You identify a risk. Let's say it's the risk of data poisoning, where someone's trying to manipulate your AI's training data. Step 2. You implement a technical control to stop it, like strict access management and data validation algorithms. But then, step 3, you reinforce that with organizational training, ensuring your data scientists know exactly how to spot those anomalies. A technical patch is perfectly supported by human awareness.
And finally, Section 4, documenting audit strategies.
Listen, an audit for this unified framework isn't just some simple tick-box exercise. You really have to look at the broader organizational culture and make sure these AI security practices aren't just siloed theories sitting in a binder gathering dust somewhere. A lead auditor is going to be looking for hard evidence that the technical controls for the AI are directly, unmistakably linked to the organization's overarching information security policy.
Here is your practical go-to guide for structuring that audit documentation. You need to consolidate your ISMS policies so they explicitly mention AI. You need detailed risk treatment plans. You need incredibly clear roles and responsibilities, and you absolutely must have continuous monitoring logs. Collecting this cross-departmental evidence proves to the auditor that your data scientists, your IT security, and your compliance officers are all operating from the exact same playbook.
I actually want to zoom in on the risk treatment plan for a second, because this is absolutely critical. This plan has to clearly outline the rationale for every single AI decision and the specific controls you implemented. If your team decides to accept a certain level of risk regarding an AI model's transparency simply because it increases its accuracy, you have to document exactly why that trade-off was made and how you're mitigating the downsides. This ensures every choice, from algorithmic tuning to cloud storage, is justified, secure, and fully auditable. And you know, this documentation extends to actual human beings, too. Because at the end of the day, an autonomous system doesn't take the blame. You can't exactly fire an algorithm or put a server rack in handcuffs, right? Your documented role definitions dictate exactly who is accountable when an AI model drifts, makes a biased decision, or leaks data. The auditor will be checking to ensure that if something does go wrong, there is a clear, documented chain of command ready to respond.
I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought to ponder regarding your own organization's readiness. It is just no longer enough to build a giant, secure wall around your servers. We have to look inside those walls and ask what the machines are actually doing with the data we're protecting. By bridging ISO 46001 and ISO 27001, you ensure your AI isn't just a secure black box, but a highly transparent, ethical, and responsible asset. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you build a more secure and ethical future.